Welcome back to Dinar Info News, your most reliable source for real-time updates, in-depth analysis, and exclusive coverage on global currency shifts, especially the Dinar and Dong. If you're passionate about tracking currency central bank policies, and all things Forex, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a critical update. Today, we're diving into something massive. Yes, the rumors you've heard are real. The 2025 Forex rates have been revealed in the official Gazette, and it's nothing short of historic. The Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong have officially skyrocketed, leaving seasoned analysts, investors, and the global financial community in absolute shock. Let's unpack everything from what's changed, to why it happened, to what you can expect next. Now, if you've been following our channel for a while, you'll know we've been tracking the Dinar and Dong for years, from the early speculations, to the behind-the-scenes dealings at the IMF and World Bank, to all those subtle clues dropped by central banks. Every breadcrumb led us here. And finally, the long-awaited moment has arrived. According to the official Gazette, which is the government's verified source of public legal announcements, the newly adjusted Forex rates have been published. The Iraqi Dinar, previously trading between 1,300 to 1,460 per USD in the open market, has undergone a radical appreciation. As of August 1, 2025, the rate is now officially listed at 3.46 IQD per 1 USD. That's not just a modest gain, it's a complete currency revaluation. Think about that. For those who invested in the dinar during its suppressed years, this change represents an unprecedented windfall. A person who held 1 million dinar, which used to be worth just over $700 USD in the past few years, now holds more than $289,000 USD. That's life-changing money. This is not just a shift in numbers, it represents a total reversal of how the world values Iraq's economy, oil reserves, and monetary potential. And it's not just the dinar that has surged. The Vietnamese Dong, long seen as another undervalued currency with strong industrial backing, has also experienced a surprising revaluation. Previously trading around 23,000 VND per 1 United States dollar, the Dong is now officially pegged at 2,300 VND per 1 United States dollar, according to the same report. That's a 10x increase, showing that Vietnam's economic restructuring and export-driven growth model finally gained international monetary respect. But how did we get here? Why now? Why has 2025 become the year of reckoning for these so-called sleeping giant currencies? Let's rewind and look at the indicators. In late 2023 and throughout 2024, there were subtle but clear signs coming from Iraq's central bank. Reserves were growing, reaching historic highs of over $110 billion. Oil production was stable, and there were visible efforts to de-dollarize domestic transactions. Iraq also finalized several high-level agreements with China, India, and EU countries to trade using the dinar rather than USD. The government also implemented strict anti-corruption measures, reduced its black market currency spread, and made significant progress in digitizing its banking system. Every one of these steps was a brick laid on the path to Forex legitimacy. International investors noticed, rating agencies adjusted Iraq's outlook from stable to positive, and the IMF made multiple statements praising Iraq's fiscal discipline. These weren't accidents, they were signals. On the other side, Vietnam was making similar strategic moves. As one of the fastest-growing manufacturing hubs in Southeast Asia, Vietnam quietly emerged as a critical player in global supply chains. From electronics to textiles to agricultural exports, their GDP consistently grew by 6 to 8% year after year. Moreover, their foreign exchange reserves hit record levels, and the government started buying back bonds and reducing foreign debt. Just last year, Vietnam signed a series of trade agreements that bypassed the dollar entirely, opting for bilateral currency swaps instead. The Vietnamese State Bank also tightened monetary policy, improved transparency, and shifted toward a more freely convertible system, all classic signs that a currency is gearing up for revaluation. So when the 2025 Forex rates came out, the sharp increases for both the dinar and the dong weren't spontaneous miracles. They were well-orchestrated, deeply strategic, and highly calculated financial moves backed by years of structural groundwork. Now, let's talk about what this means for the global market. First, the oil trade is undergoing a serious shift, with Iraq now pushing to price more of its exports in dinar rather than dollars. The petrodollar system faces a fresh challenge. The revaluation immediately increases Iraq's leverage in OPEC negotiations and gives them a stronger hand in global finance discussions. For Vietnam, the revaluation boosts domestic purchasing power. Imports become cheaper, which could cool inflation and help sustain their development pace. But there are also geopolitical ripples. Countries that previously benefited from currency suppression are now adjusting to new trade balances. For example, American and European importers of Vietnamese goods may face price hikes, while Iraq could attract new kinds of foreign investment that were previously deterred by currency risk. Of course, there are skeptics. There always are. Some analysts argue the revaluation is unsustainable, that it could lead to capital flight or internal instability, but early indicators suggest the opposite. Iraq's government issued a statement immediately after the Gazette announcement, confirming that this is part of a broader monetary reform strategy with IMF oversight. The central bank has already deployed mechanisms to manage liquidity, control inflation, and protect against currency speculation. Vietnam issued similar reassurances, stating that their revaluation is part of a 5-year modernization plan that includes digital banking and foreign investment incentives. Notably, neither country made this move alone. There's credible evidence that multilateral institutions, possibly including BRICS, Plus, and select EU partners, were informed well in advance, and coordinated monetary support has been lined up behind the scenes. Now here's the million, or should we say billion-dollar question. What does this mean for you? The investor, the Dinar and Dong holder, the viewer who's been waiting, researching, and hoping for this moment. If you've been holding IQD or VND for the past few years, this might be the most important update of your life. We're already seeing massive movements in the secondary market. Currency exchanges are adjusting their rates daily. Major Forex platforms have paused Dinar and Dong trades temporarily while recalibrating systems. Banks in countries like the UAE, Turkey, Malaysia, and even Switzerland are reportedly preparing to start converting physical notes for new value. Yes, you heard that right. Physical currency holders are expected to be able to redeem at the new rates, pending verification and anti-money laundering checks. But before you rush out, it's essential to proceed wisely. There will be opportunists, scams, and chaos in the early days. Not all banks are ready. Not all platforms have updated. Do your due diligence. Speak to professionals. Secure your notes. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. In the coming weeks, expect further clarification from the central banks of Iraq and Vietnam regarding redemption procedures, bank partnerships, and possible limitations on cash exchanges. There's also speculation that a global digital currency framework might integrate these currencies in a broader digital ledger system, possibly led by the BRICS coalition. That would mean your paper notes could soon be backed by digital ID, authentication, or blockchain-based conversion processes. Now, let's talk time. The Gazette announcement confirms that the rates are in effect as of August 1, 2025. However, full international implementation could take anywhere from 30 to 90 days. During this time, keep your ears open for updates from Forex, bureaus, consulates, and major banks. For holders outside of Iraq and Vietnam, certain embassy branches may provide conversion support, especially in countries with significant Iraqi or Vietnamese populations. Keep in mind, rates may fluctuate slightly during the transition period, but the core revaluation levels are now legally locked in through the Gazette. That's the power of this moment. It's not just a rumor or a leak. It's official. To those who doubted, mocked, or ignored this possibility, this is your wake-up call. Currency reevaluations aren't conspiracy theories. They're strategic, nation-backed financial resets rooted in economics, not internet hype. And to our loyal subscribers, you saw the signs, you stayed informed, and now, you're reaping the rewards. This is what Dinar Info News was built for. To guide, inform, and empower everyday people with timely, truthful, and impactful financial knowledge. Over the coming days, we'll be releasing step-by-step guides on how to safely convert your currency, protect your windfall, and avoid common pitfalls in this volatile transition phase. And before we close, a word of caution and hope. Don't let greed cloud your judgment. Don't rush into flashy purchases or fall for currency redemption centers without verified credentials. Seek legal and financial counsel. Consider diversifying into hard assets or dividend investments. Use this moment not just to celebrate but to build a secure, sustainable future. For many of you, this revaluation is more than a financial event. It's a new beginning, a second chance, a moment to rewrite your story. And we're here with you every step of the way. Thank you for watching Dinar Info News. If you found this video valuable, hit that like button, share it with your fellow